much for joining us today. Oh, I can see people coming in. Hello, Dylan. Hello, Francesco. Hello, Irene. How are you? Hello, Klaus. How are you? Natalie. It's lovely to have you all come in. We have got a great session today just to go over. I'll explain a bit more while people are coming in. But we have got 150 odd people signed up for today. The session is being recorded, so if you do have to step out, take a call, finish early, please don't worry. I'll send you the recording as soon as I get it edited tomorrow. A couple of little housekeeping things. Hello, Tad, just down the corridor, but hello. A little bit of housekeeping. If you'd like to ask a question of any of our brilliant analysts, then the best way to do that is to put a note into the chat box. With a webinar of this size, it's quite difficult to track who's got their hand up and then to turn on their microphone. So if you don't mind asking any questions in the chat box, that would be brilliant. And just to bear in mind, a really annoying kink of Zoom is it says to host and panelists when you put a note into the chat box. And if you want that to go to everybody, so other people like listening to this session can have an opinion, then just flick that down to everyone, and then the question will go to everyone. But if you do have a question you only, say, for example, want to put to Kirsty, then you can go down that list and select Kirsty and just put a note directly to her. So the way this is going to work, hello Marie, how are you? Just seeing your note come in, lovely to have you here. The way this is going to work, we are basically going to run through some of the practicalities and logistics of the event quickly. I'm going to hand over to Bryony to do that shortly, and then Kirsty's going to take you through some of the on-the-ground things that that are important in terms of bookings and where to find us and all of that stuff. And then I'm going to introduce you to Ken and to Dana and to Carlos, who are delegates. Hello, Laurie, who are delegates who've been, I think, Ken 3 times, Dana, this is going to be like your 7th, something like that. Carlos, this is only going to be your 2nd event. So last year, you were a newbie, so we'll be really interested to find out how that went. I'm sorry, I've got so the first thing I'm going to do, if you are happy with that, is I'm going to hand you to Bryony. And Bryony, you're going to take us through some of the logistics of the event, I think starting with a brief outline of what you can expect from the program.
Yes, thank you very much, Don. It's
oh, sorry.
strange.
Do you want to introduce yourself? I forgot to do that. Bryony.
Yes, shockingly, I'm Bryony. I work for Eura, the operations director, and you've probably seen me on all sorts of things in the past because I do like to have a little chat and get involved in stuff. And it seems like it wasn't that long ago that we were doing the bookings are about to open webinar. And now we're only a few weeks away from welcoming everybody to Malta. So it's very exciting, and slightly busy and frantic at the moment, I think we would say, Dom and Kirsty.
It just it goes so quickly, doesn't it? From starting the planning
really, really does.
Yeah. In a month.
Yeah. I mean, it almost feels like we're packing up one conference and we're immediately starting on another.
Not making me laugh. Okay.
But the conference itself begins on Monday, the 27th of April. We have more social things to ease you in gently on that Monday. And if you're a premium member, we also have the EGQS update. Then we have a newcomers reception to welcome anybody who's new or anybody who wants to go and say hello to any new people. And you can get to meet the team and the board. And then we finish Monday evening off with our very, very popular speed networking, which we're fortunate that we had that completely over to the Eura executive group to handle and let them get on with it. And then Tuesday, we officially open the conference and welcome you all to Malta. And this year we have an opening speaker, as well as Tad and the amazing AGM, which is one of my favourite parts of the whole conference. I would highly recommend, if you're a full member, attend. Hopefully that's enough of a plug for you there, Tad.
Well done.
We finished the day on Tuesday with our welcome reception, which, as we're going to be in a beautiful sunny island, we're going to be holding it by the pool. There will be no rain. We will be outside. I have decreed it, therefore it shall be so. Wednesday has become what we like to call Workshop Wednesday. Now, none of these workshops have to be pre-booked. You can just turn up, see which one you fancy. We've got a corporate housing workshop, got an immigration workshop, a diversification workshop, and a mergers and acquisitions workshop. So hopefully there's something for everybody there. And they will all be in the main session, in the main conference room, apart from the corporate housing, which is running at the same time as immigration. So there's no sort of clashes there. We finish Wednesday with our gala dinner, which is a black tie event this year because of the venue that we're in. We're actually going out of the hotel to a beautiful venue. I'm not going to tell you where it is. You'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you can get all spruced up in your finery. But I wouldn't wear massively high heels, boys, because there are some cobbles and steps to go down. So flats might be the way forward.
It always makes me laugh, Bryony, when you say, because we're in a very smart venue this year, it's got to be black tie. There will be bouncers on the venue if you're not wearing black tie, they won't let you in. That is not true. It's our thing. If you're not in formal dress, you are still very, very welcome to join us.
The only way you won't be allowed in is if you do not have your conference badge. And even then,
true.
we'll double check and we might let you in if you're nice to us. But yeah, conference badge is the essential. Yeah. Then of course, everyone will be up bright and early on Thursday because, you know, gala dinner's very sensible. Nobody goes and does anything afterwards, do you?
Nope.
So we have more sessions on Thursday, and then we close the conference with our 2027 destination reveal, and we'll announce who's won the Where Next competition. And then if you have booked to attend the party night is being held in the hotel itself. So no need to worry about stumbling to your bed later on that evening. And that one is not black tie. That one is much more casual. We also have throughout Tuesday to Thursday, we have a number of like different, I call them drop-in sessions, I guess. We've got legal clinic, we've got Martina and Jochen and our EGQS mentors who'll be there if you need any support, if you're interested in doing the quality seal. We've also got some MIM training going on, and we've got some sustainability, like a drop-in where you can go if you've got any specific questions about sustainability. And also I'll be around if you want to talk to me about the carbon calculator. Our other strategic consultants for education will also be around. So you can talk to them at any point if you've got any questions about anything to do with Euro. Strategic consultants, Kirsty, myself, even Tad and Dom, you can speak to them about anything and they'll be very, very happy to help. What else do I need to tell you about? Do you want me to talk about the charity quickly?
Yes, please.
Yes, so every year we support a local charity, and this year is a children's charity, and we'll be giving you the opportunity to purchase the very exclusive Euro sunglasses. There we go. They are made from sustainable bamboo, I believe.
They are recycled bamboo.
Recycled bamboo.
Well, not the
yeah, you can't actually see through them, but they look amazing. So you can buy
really
sunglasses. You can also make a guess as to where you think we're going to be in 2027 and make a donation to go along with that.
For people who haven't been before, we know we used to always do that on a postcard, but we're doing it differently this year, aren't we?
Well, I'm going to try. I'm gonna try and set it up digitally. I am determined to reduce the amount of paper that we produce, and so this is another piece of cardboard that we do not need. So I'm going to have a go.
Brilliant.
We also have.
Excellent question. There's an excellent question from Dino in the chat. Can we bring items for the silent auction?
Oh, Dino, you're reading my mind, or you're reading my script. Yes, the silent auction is another way that we raise money for the charity, which is basically where delegates very kindly donate items such as hotel stays. We've already been gifted attendance at the CERC conference over in Canada. Then we also will have other items that people, as long as it's something that you can easily put in a suitcase
Yeah.
and that has to be taken home with you, then we're so happy to receive those items. And then we have sheets of paper, must find a way to do that digitally, and you put a bid on. So yeah, multiple ways to help us raise money for the charity. Something that we've been really focusing on, well, I certainly have been focusing on over the last sort of few weeks, is along with some of our coalition partners, been doing some training around code of conduct and behaviour at conferences. Not because we're worried that we're going to have any necessarily bad behaviour, but we just want to make sure that we know what to do should a situation arise, and we can support and help and make sure that everybody has a safe and enjoyable conference. So you will see more of that around in Malta this year.
Brilliant.
Have I missed anything?
Would you like to just mention the app?
Yes, so hopefully everybody has received their app login details. It's your email address that you used when you made your booking, and you do have to have a password, which is individual. If you haven't yet received it, then just let us know and we can provide that information for you. Yeah, email Kirsty. And you just search for Eura Relocation Malta 2026 and you'll be able to find it. The app has the full agenda on there. It lists all of our attendees. We've also put a PDF of the delegate list on there. It has all of our sponsors listed. It includes your ticket. So if you're not sure whether or not you've booked the party night, just have a look where it says my ticket and it will say yes or no, or no, it'll be a tick or a cross. Everybody will have a tick next to gala dinner because every single delegate gets to come to the gala dinner. It's only the party night that is an enhancement.
Brilliant. And just a little tip about the app. One of the things that delegates use it the most for is to arrange meetings. So you can click on the bio of a person and in there it will actually allow you to schedule a meeting. I'm not sure, I think it takes you into a different system, but that's my point is rather put your photograph in because it's so much easier to identify someone you haven't met before if you can see their photograph in the app. It's really super convenient if you can do that. Thank you, Bryony. That's terrific. I was just going to mention one thing. There's one thing on Workshop Wednesday called an intuitive leadership session, which is actually most of the day. That is pre-booked only, and it is currently fully booked. I was just listening. I was trying to listen with the ears of somebody who is really new to all of this, and we bandy about terms like MIM training, EGQS. These will all become clear at the conference. We have a lot of projects in Eura, and as I say, if you're interested in our quality certification, our training programs, our sustainability things, that what Brian is saying is all of our representatives and strategic consultants who deal with those parts of our functions will be at the conference. Come and find any member of the team if you're interested, and we'll point you in the right direction to go and talk to those people. Kirsty, and I was just going to say one other thing really quickly. For those of you who may have joined us for the first or second time last year in Zagreb, the Malta Hilton is a much bigger venue. So there are maps in the app that will guide you to this. When you look at a session, it will say which room it's in, and then you can click on that and it will zoom in on the map and tell you where you are. There are two big sections in the hotel where we're running conference sessions. It's 90% is being held in what we are calling the Hilton Malta Conference Centre, which you can find super easily if you walk up to the reception desk of the hotel. It's through the doors on the left, but it will all become clear when you're there. Much more networking space than we had in Zagreb. It's a lovely hotel. And for those of you who don't know, it's the first time in the history of Euro we have used the same hotel again. We've never been back to the same venue. The Hilton are really pleased. So many of the team are still working at the Hilton 10 years on, which is that's really nice. Kirsty, I was going to pass over to you. And
Sorry, I've just got one
oh,
quick
I'm so sorry.
question to answer
Yes.
that I spotted
Oh, yeah,
about
good.
the app, whether it works for Android. It certainly does.
It does. Just need to search in the Android store.
Yes.
And Olivia, good question. If you have questions, do you wait until the end or can you drop them in now? Either way, up to you. I will, if you've got a question that we can answer now, go put it straight in the thing and I'll interrupt. Kirsty will be in charge of our check-in and support team. Kirsty, over to you.
Hello. So as Dom said, I will be looking after the check-in team. We're based on the ground floor. As soon as you come into the business centre, you will see us there. And it's a great team. They're all volunteers, but they all know what they're doing. You can ask any of us any question at any point. We've got great experience, and we'll all be happy to help you. So what I would say is to any newcomer, use us as your base. If you're booking meetings via the app and you're not quite sure of the lay of the land, don't worry. Just arrange to meet everybody at the check-in desk because everybody has to check in. So you will know where it is. You can check in from midday on Monday. We'll be open midday until 6 o'clock on Monday. Always a good idea to get there early to pick up your badge. But we'll also be there throughout the conference. So if you've got any questions or you've misplaced your badge or you're not sure if you've booked the party or where something is, or you've lost somebody or something, you will find us on the ground floor and you can use us as your base throughout the whole conference. When you are setting up your meetings, I know people are panicking a little bit that there is networking space and they're not quite sure where to have their meetings with people. I think what you'll find is that from previous years, people tend to find their little pod within the networking space and they'll stick there for the whole conference. And there's a lot of it in the Malta Hilton. And especially if the sun shines, because we can also get outside. But there's also some beautiful cafes within just a very short walking distance. So if you do need to take some time away, which we would encourage you to do because it does get a bit heavy at times, do that. Wander off, find some beautiful cafes, share your finds with us all. Or come to us if you need any help and you just need to find a quiet corner. We'll be able to help you. What else was I going to say? Dress codes, I think Bryony's already been over that pretty much. There's not really anything else that I can add to that.
Actually, but a very good question has just come through. So thank you, Olivia, for that. We put out a photograph a couple of weeks ago of all of us in black tie, and it was a ChatGPT altered photograph, and it put us all in black. And Olivia was asking a really important question, which is, due to different cultural contexts, I wanted to ask if black tie for women means only black dresses. That's a really no. You can wear as colourful a dress as you like. You can wear whatever you want. I mean, it's lovely that it's going to be smart. It is a venue that lends itself to that. But I would suggest, as Kirsty said, no. ChatGPT put us all into black, and it did give the impression that it was only black. So apologies for that. Oh, okay. Garp would like to hold a breakfast meeting. Do we have to wait until Monday to reserve a space? Probably best to get in touch with Kirsty directly on that. We don't have any reserved spaces left in the Hilton at the moment, so you're probably best off asking the hotel if they can set you aside a large table in the restaurant. The breakfast restaurant in the Hilton is massive. Or alternatively, there's a whole list of cafes and restaurants that are really close by to the Hilton. I know some of them are open from first thing, but this being Malta, quite a lot of those restaurants and bars won't open until 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So bear that in mind. Sorry, Kirsty, go on.
No, that's all really helpful. I don't actually think I have anything else to add to that now that those two
I think great. I
questions have
mean,
been
just to
answered.
add to what you were saying, this is what the badge looks like. The badge for Malta will look slightly different. But if you do have a question at any time, or when Bryony was referring to, if you feel uncomfortable about something, and it could be something as simple as, I probably want to leave the gala dinner earlier than the buses, and how do I get a taxi? Just come and find anyone who's got one of these blue staff flags on the bottom of their badge, and they'll be able to help you. Or alternatively, anybody who has a black board member flag on the bottom of their badge will also be able to help you. So don't hesitate to come and find us. Oh, good. Thank you, Will. General dress code. So we always say during the day, conference sessions, it's business casual. It's a long time since I've been to a conference where everybody is wearing suits and, very smart business attire. Most people will be wearing, a jacket, chinos, a shirt, a polo shirt. Well, it depends on the weather as well. If the weather's gorgeous, we're all going to be in summer clothes. And the party night is informal. It's very much a party. So whatever you like. So I'd like to introduce to my three panelists, Ken, Dana, and Carlos. I'm really, really grateful to have you here. And Dana, I know that I'm going to start with Dana, if you don't mind, because I know you're very passionate about ensuring that people who haven't experienced this before have a good first experience.
Correct. So yeah, definitely. This is going to be my 8th conference. Very excited. In fact, I think I can see some very familiar names here on the chat. So everyone can basically probably admit that they are waiting a year for it. There is something very unique in this conference that you will not find in others. And everyone are saying it. So this is a very safe environment, and it's very exciting. And I think it's very important to take it that this is very much not very business official. This is very much friendly and mostly based on networking. So even if you are already on the process, probably you should be at the end of your process of making the meetings now. And maybe it's your first time, so you don't have so many meetings. You are not successful to get so many meetings. Still, it's very important to stay the whole time in the conference, because sometimes I see people, and I did that as well on my first one, just book half a day for myself to go and walk around the city and so on. And this is not the right approach, I believe. Again, everyone will do whatever they want to, because this conference happening once a year, and there is a very big opportunity. It's also quite expensive, and you are giving 1 week of your time for it. So put aside the tour side, or going to maybe doing emails or get a rest, because you should, for my opinion, focus really on the conference. And even if you don't have a meeting, there is constantly networking. And even if a person that you just met, they have nothing to do with your business. They have maybe a language school in Brazil, and you are in Poland. There will never be business between two of you. But in Europe, it works that always somebody introduces you to somebody. So you sit with somebody for coffee, and then somebody crossed by and they introduce you to them. And I mean, I cannot tell you how many introductions I had in the elevator. Okay. So it's really just stay around, just find. So you have emails, do the emails around the conference area. So you constantly have people moving around you, and you are engaging with them. I truly also recommend to come on the weekend before, because a lot of things happening on the weekend before. It's not officially, so you will not necessarily see announcement about it, but people are already on the reception. They are all around. You might not see the tag yet, but you kind of feel that they are from Europe. And try already to connect with those people. And there are always something happening in the evening. Even if there is a gala dinner, there is later another party. They're constantly. Some parties are with invitations, so you might need to know somebody to be invited. But some are absolutely every night there is a karaoke party. I promise you. I counted. I think there were 116 people from the UK or 106 from the UK. They are our party people. I think if we wouldn't have a UK people, that would be a very boring one. And that's the biggest tip I probably can give you. Stick around the British guys, okay? And then go around.
Except us. We're all exhausted.
The boring ones that go bed early.
With an exception of your team, I really highly recommend. And if you hear from somebody that they are going for some event, don't be shy. Ask them, can I join it? Or if they tell you there's an invitation, can you check if I can join you? Because this is really how you do the networking. They're mostly happening in between the meetings and not in the meetings.
That's fantastic, Dana. Thank you so much. That's a really, really great picture of what the event is about. There is a great social element to it. and that well-being piece. It's exhausting. I remember one of our delegates coming up to me at the end of the conference in Villamora and just saying, I've got to go and sit in a dark room now for 3 days because I have done nothing but speak since I arrived here. So get out of the hotel. There's loads of lovely cafes. You're by the sea, take a walk. We do morning walks every day. It's optional, but we raise money for the charity. So if you'd like to donate €5, just join us at 7 o'clock in the lobby. We'll take a beautiful walk around the coast. And just to a couple of the questions, the weather should be between 20 and 25. It really depends. The last time we were in Malta at that time, and thank you, Carlos, for putting that in the box, it was 23, 24, something like that at this time of year. It can be windy, so bring, we're by the coast, so, bring something a little bit warmer.
But it can be also very cold in the conference itself. It's good to have a jacket. Sometimes it's over, yeah.
That's absolutely true. And that conference room in the Malta Hilton is very well air conditioned, so bear that in mind. Carlos, I'm going to come to you in a tick, if that's okay. Ken, I'm going to come to you next. Ken, it's great to have you here. I know your first conference experience was slightly different in that it was Villamora, right?
Yeah, it was. And first of all, thank you to you, Dom, Kirsty, and Brioni, and for this great work you're doing. Highly appreciated. So thank you for that. Hi everyone, and welcome. It's great to see so many attending today. And I'm, by the way, Ken from Copenhagen relocation. And yes, I still remember my first Euro conference pretty clear. What I thought when I entered, I said, whoa, everyone seemed to know each other. I felt a little bit outside the box. This will be my third conference, so I'm not exactly newcomer anymore, but I still remember what it feels like to be one. And I'm really happy to be here today. If any questions, if just to come with some few honest tips to you and to make your first Euro experience a relaxed and positive one. And yes, Dom, it was a little bit special for me because I actually came with a team already existing, and I was brought into this company, and the team knew a lot about Euro and had many years of experience. So for me, I was quite in good hands all the time, but still I was a bit overwhelmed when I came into the hotel in Villamora. First of all, I say, wow, this is amazing. Second, I say, that's a lot of work for you guys in Euro, and lots of names, lots of conversations, but also very welcoming once you relax into it. And one tip I will for sure give you all is that don't expect to go into every conversation. Also take time to enjoy, to experience all the nice events there. You can't attend everything, and you can't attend all conversation either. So you just don't have to try to do everything at once. So and you will be feeling a part of the community way quicker than you actually think. As soon as you enter the conference, as soon as you start conversations, you will feel a part of Euro. And one part of Euro is that it is like a big family. And then first you enter, first you feel relaxed there. It is a community with positive people, lots of experience, lots of happiness. And that was one of my thoughts when I entered in the hotel first time. Said, oh, happy people around me, positive vibes. Every day was the same. The events, the parties, everything around it was just amazing. And the second time in Zagreb, I still had the same feeling, and I'm sure I have the same feeling next month in Malta. Happy to see a lot of new people, happy to see all the people you already know, have some good meetings, talk about the industry. I look very much forward to the Ignite session, which is always for me the big event for me. It's amazing. And so for all of you, first time, relax, lean into it. Be positive, be open, and if you're a little bit introvert, just focus on one conversation at a time. And most people are just happy to talk to you, and often they're just relieved somebody actually wants to talk to you. So don't worry about that. just be open, happy, and positive. And I'm sure it's going to be an amazing event this year as well, like all the other years.
Ken, thank you very much. That's really kind of you to say. And you raised some important points. I'm just going to, before I come to you, Carlos, a couple of things people have put in the chat. The Copenhagen Conference in 2004, which was also very nice. Thank you, Mark. That was one of my favorites too. It's 22 years ago. And it was great. And Miriam, thank you for your comment about when, I think, Donna, when you were talking about the English people being the party people, Miriam said, the Spanish will be there too. Well done. And for Miriam's first time coming from Barcelona. We're looking forward to seeing you. Carlos, you came to Zagreb for the first time. Why did you decide to come? And what was it like? Big questions.
Yeah, I mean, great question. I think who doesn't want to come to Euro? It's such an amazing event that brings together worldwide players of the relocation industry. It's a very exclusive event to a certain extent. You meet a whole load of people from all walks of life, many of whom have been, as you just mentioned, Mark here making reference to an event that happened more than 20 years ago. One thing that amazed me is that people in the relocation industry stick around for very long. So you meet people who have experienced, an amount, indescribable amount. The experience that it brings together is just insane. And so it taught me a lot, going to that Euro really brought me a lot of insights, a lot of knowledge about what's happening in the relocation world. So it was very, very insightful, and that's why we're going to keep coming back for sure. Hope that answers the question.
That's really, that's great, and thank you. And so I guess because it's so difficult for us, because we've the three of us particularly have done this for so many years. What did it feel like when you first arrived and you're like, this hotel is full of people?
Yeah, I think I reflect what Ken was saying. You get there and you're like, wow, it's 800 people you were mentioning, and so it's a lot of people. The venues are different sizes, so I'm guessing Malta will be different to Zagreb, and but you feel it. You feel it's a lot of people, and everybody, as Ken was saying, knows each other because you've all been around for it'd be interesting to know an average, but like maybe 10 years is the general average. And so people know each other, people have worked together, and it's an opportunity for them to meet once in a year from different parts of the world. So it was very much about like, oh, everybody's catching up. So you felt like a bit like an outsider. You try to like see, do I know anybody? It was a bit overwhelming in that sense. But as Ken also mentioned, I mean, everybody's so friendly. So you go up to people know, hey, they probably they can see you're a newcomer. If you do that, I think you did that last year. And yes.
Yeah.
So people will be very friendly to newcomers and very interactive and having them join conversations. If you my go-to, I mean, and again, some people are more introverted than others or extroverted than others, but you can walk up to a group and just say hello, and most likely they will appreciate including you or giving you some insights. But it did feel a bit like, wow, this is amazing, a bit overwhelming, a bit like, how do I get around? What do I do now? But obviously, I think the app is amazing because you're always connected. You can see people, you see names, and you can quickly search who they are. You can also have targets of like who are you hoping to meet and speak with. So you can always, the app was very useful to also go to the right places at the right times. But I joined Ken in many of his observations.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because again, I mean, I went to a conference a couple of years ago, which I'd never been to before, and I was on my own. And I'm an introvert. I'm not a person who goes hi. And I went to lunch that day, and I sat at a table with about 7 other people, and I felt so awkward. I was like, you all know each other. I don't want to interrupt your conversation. I don't, and any big conference can feel like that. And my response to that was just like, I think it was, my name's Tom. How are you? Lovely to meet you. Are you enjoying the play? Try and keep it light. What's it like? Have you been here before? That kind of thing. Because it can feel, I had somebody come up to me in the conference that we held in Dublin a couple of years ago. Somebody who I knew, but it was her first time, and she came up after the opening session and said, "You're all talking about this Euro family." she said, but there are 750 people here, and that is an enormous family, and I'm finding it really intimidating. And I was like, you just, whatever we can do, come and find us, go to the newcomers reception, exactly as Ken, Dana, you've said, and Carlos, you've said too. And on Thursday, she came up to me in the afternoon at the end of the conference and said, I've had the best time. I've had the best time, but I had to go out and sort of, find it for myself, which, is it's intimidating, or it can be.
To be brave, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, if I can pass on a little tip as well, because we have so many amazing sessions planned. People have been working so hard
Just gonna say that.
putting them together, and that's also a really, really, if you are a little bit nervous with being in a like the bigger group or at networking, if you go to a session, you can get talking to people on the table. You'll be amazed how many sort of connections you can make, especially during Workshop Wednesday. But at any of the sessions, it's an opportunity. You've got something in common immediately because you're at the same session. So that would be my little tip,
That's
and,
really
and both for the sessions as well, because it's fantastic to network, but it's also fantastic to learn as well.
Yeah, if I may add as well, I think it's going to be a bit contradictory what I'm going to say, but and as Dana said, a lot happens on the off conference time. So just on the little snippets of times that you have in between, events, or as we mentioned at 7 a.m. walks, I get a lot out of maybe not all of them, because 7 a.m. is early. If you're like most your delegates that like to go for a few drinks after the conference as well. But definitely that's a great event, a great opportunity to because during conference I feel everybody's kind of like at work. They could be discussing of things that are not necessarily work related because they're catching up as well. But it's more like, okay, we're here for a set amount of time. Whereas in the mornings and the evenings, because drinks are another part of the place where I think you can get a lot of insights. People are off, and it's more like, oh, what, where are you from? What do you do? And I thought that was a really great. So if you're doing the evening ones, maybe you're not going to do the next morning one, but I think doing both gets you a good overview of what's happening and getting networking really.
Yeah, thanks, Carlos. And again, coming back to something that you said earlier as well, I mean, and combining that with what Bryony said, one of the things for me is like, if you go into one of the sessions, and we're lucky this year because the venue is so big, we can have the ballroom laid out in what we call cabaret style, which means you're sitting at a round table, and you can just kind of like sneak over and have a look at someone's badge. Oh, they're called Dom. Okay, I'm just gonna check my app. And you go, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you're from the UK. That's a nice icebreaker. You're in a session, the people understand, I suppose, sort of talk a bit quieter. And there are people, but it's a nice way to then, start a conversation with somebody. Jeanette, excellent point. Thank you for making that. For first timers, I highly recommend the speed networking event. That happens on Monday afternoon. It's an hour and a half of crazy speed networking, and people can meet a lot of people at that. And that's a great way to go. Oh yeah, I talked to you last night, didn't I? Really worth going. Get there early. Everything we do is always venue specific. The ballroom that's being held in, I think we're limited to 250 people for that event. So once 200. We reach those, is it 200? Once 200. We reach those numbers, the doors will be closed. So, and yes, again, that's a very good point. Get your sunglasses. It's an immediate icebreaker. Thank you for that. Olivia, that's a really good question to which I do not know the answer. Dana, Ken, if you've been to the speed networking, do people bring business cards to that?
Yes, they do, but also they are, most of the people, in fact, do bring the business cards. And if the session is 90 minutes, with all the preparation and so on, you have 1 minute to talk with the person in front of you. It's very loud room, but don't worry, Euro has the drinks for you, so to keep your strength, right?
Hydrated, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So you possibly will meet at least 60 people. And that's really a lot to start with the networking later and, the casual, just, going around and feel also more that the people. Yeah. And don't forget, as Carlos said, really people know each other a lot. but they stay together in a connection the whole year, and they meet actually in maybe other conferences, or they go and visit each other. Because when I came first, I felt that there's such a good energy, but I felt very lonely around very energetic and people who know each other, and there's kind of like a bubble. But then it took me time to understand that it's not a bubble, it's completely open. Everyone, I mean, you will see no one will be unnice to you or I don't want to talk to you. And
No.
more than that, last year, very interesting, somebody registered really last moment to the conference and managed like 3 meetings. But she actually managed at the conference to do many because she reached to people through the app and she said, hey, I'm here. I'm quite available. If you have a gap or somebody cancel on you, just, send me a message. And she managed to do a lot. I mean, it's quite brave to do, honestly. And but it's still possible to make more meeting at the spot. Only very important tip about the app, some people don't check the app. So when you are late to a meeting or you are looking for somebody in something, make sure you also have their number with you. I always put next to everyone names their numbers because a lot of time is spent for looking for other people. And they sometimes still stuck on the other meeting or they just confused with the time zone. They register your meeting wrongly. That's happening a lot. So I recommend not just to write on the chat on the app and they might not see it.
That's brilliant advice. That is really good advice. I'm just going to go through some of the comments that have come in. Poppy from Duke's Education, we're looking forward to seeing you. I am going to put my email address into the chat box down below there. Drop me a note because if you're really new to the relocation market, we have a module within the Academy, which I will happily share with you at no charge, called Mobility Industry and Context. If one of the things that you're concerned about is just like knowing the language of DSP, of relocation, you can skip through a lot of stuff that won't apply to you, but you can just go into things like, what is a DSP? What is an RMC? How does the supply chain work? That might be really useful just to, help you to have those first conversations when you're meeting with people. Thank you, Chaz. We're looking forward to welcoming you as well as a global mobility partner. So thank you very much indeed for that. And Lyris, thank you. My first day at Euro in Dublin was overwhelming. However, day 2 and 3, I felt like I've been doing it for years. Thank you for saying that. I'm glad that's how you found it because I thought that would be overwhelming from me. No, Brenda, thank you very much. Hoyu Corporate Housing in LATAM. No, you don't need to enroll first for the speed networking, but just get there early. Bryony, do you know offhand the time of that session? It's at 5:30.
It is straight after the newcomers,
Newcomers
reception. Newcomers
It's at 5:30.
Finishes at 5:30, and then you can go down the
Yeah.
escalator into the Spinoza.
Exactly. Go upstairs. So thank you, Bryony. The newcomers reception is upstairs. Come straight down the escalator at maybe skip out of that 5 minutes early and get your place at speed networking.
Don't say that.
So I hope that's helpful. So does anybody have any questions or from my panel, any comments? Oh, I've got a few, sorry. So first of all, on a housekeeping perspective, please make sure you wear your badge at all times. We not only request this from the point of view of us as an organization, the hotel request it because they need to know for the fire regulations and they have privacy regulations, who is in their conference center at any given time. You will see as you walk into the Hilton Malta Convention Center from the reception and the lobby in the hotel, great big banners like the one behind me with picture of Tad on it going, wear your badge from here on in. We do have a zero tolerance approach to people who are not registered for the conference taking meetings within the conference spaces. And we do this because it's really important that everybody who supports this event, Euro is a not-for-profit, everyone who supports this event has paid in time and money to attend. And it's not fair for people who've not paid to attend and get the same benefit from the networking that you are all investing in for your own businesses. So we really request, if you get a request for a meeting, just check on the app that person's registered. If they're not registered or you can't find them, you're welcome to reach out to Kirsty or one of the team and just ask them. Because we just feel it. And delegates do self-police this. So again, just to let you know, it's no harm to say, oh, I've just been approached, somebody, I've just been approached, somebody who's not registered. Have you been approached? And then they come and tell us, this person's approached me, not registered. We have we got barcodes on the badges this year? Yes.
I am meeting
Find that
with
out. Yes.
our because I am going to ask them to increase the size of the name even more than I've already
Yes.
asked them to increase the size of the name.
That's good.
So hopefully this will be the year that I will not get the feedback that everyone's
Badge
like,
names
we're
are
all
too
getting
small.
older, so our eyes are all getting worse. It's
Yeah.
not the badge's fault, it's our eyes.
Yes, this is true. So yes, I mean, from a housekeeping perspective, just when you get to the venue, if you're staying in the Hilton, it's a big hotel. It's basically split into two sections. You've got the left and you've got the right. There are two different sets of elevators. The elevators are key controlled, so it's really difficult if you want to have a meeting in your room with somebody, or you cannot get to that floor. So they need to come get you. I mean, it's just a basic security now in most big hotels. You need to go back down to the lobby in order to have meetings. You can have meetings in the big convention area. You can have meetings in what we call the Hilton Business Centre, which is down on the same level as the breakfast room, same level as the pool. It's in a different part of the hotel, but it's all very clear on the app. Does anybody have any questions that they would like to ask? No, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Bryony. Bigger the name, the better. Is there a minimum value for a gift? No. No, that's very kind of you to ask, Mark. There's no minimum value for a gift for the silent auction. It can be a Fabergé egg or a box of Ferrero Rocher. We will take anything, and people tend to be very generous about what they will pay. And also that silent auction takes place on Thursday afternoon, before the party night. So a nice bottle of wine that people might like to share together as an aperitif will always go down well. There are loads of places around the Hilton. There's a really excellent supermarket just at the bottom of the drive. There's a heap of restaurants around there. In the Porto Masso Harbour, there must be in total 20 restaurants, bars, and places to go and explore. So, and we have a list of resources on the app. It tells you all the restaurants that we've personally tried for the last 10 years ago and now. So anything you need, just let us know. The only session that needs to be pre-booked, thank you, James, yes, is the leadership workshop on Wednesday, the intuitive leadership session. It was pre-bookable and that is fully booked because it was limited to just 20 people. There is a wait list for that. So if you do want to be popped onto that wait list, we're asking everybody who's attending that. The other nice question that came in earlier, and I think, I'm sorry, I can't remember who it's from. We've in the past, we've always done a, we've always done a speaker identification that you can put onto your email address. We will do one for I'm attending Euroconference Malta. So if you want to put that into your email signature, you're very welcome. We will, of course, if we see that will only go to registered delegates, please do not share it. That's why we've not done it before. Because if that gives the impression that somebody is attending the conference, always check the app.
We've also got the selfie camera and the social wall on the app as well. If you want to start communicating with each other, yeah.
Loads of people have done that.
Yeah. So a good way to introduce yourselves.
Social wall. There's heaps of people on there now.
Good.
Yeah, excellent.
And if when you check the app,
education. There we go. We just saw you. Yeah, excellent.
If you make sure you check the app because your name and company details will be pulled from the app in order to produce your name badge. So if it's not correct on the app, it will not be correct on your name badge. So yeah. Another excellent reason to download and check the app.
Need to be checked. And like I say, we send out, before we publish the app, we send out things saying, please check your details against the delegate list. But of course, things will happen. James, if you want to get on that wait list, I put my email address in just a bit earlier. Contact me and I'll hand it on to Kirsty. Could you explain what we can accept for the workshops and how they're different? That's an excellent question. Thank you, Martin. So workshops are longer and they're designed to be more interactive. I think the longest workshop, Bryony, is the corporate housing.
Corporate housing and immigration are
longer. They're 2 hours
2.5,
each.
2.5 hours.
2.5. The others are an hour and a half.
2.5
And
hours.
the idea is Bryony's worked very hard with the moderators and panelists on those sessions to create them using Slido. If you haven't come across Slido before, it's super easy. You flash a barcode that's on the screen and it takes you to an interactive question, and then it feeds the results back to the panel. There are a couple of things that are happening. So in terms like a classic education session, let's take mergers and acquisitions. It will actually be very interactive because of the nature of the subject. But basically what the panels do, the moderators will have a brief, they will talk to the people on the panel, the information will be delivered, and then there will be time for Q&A at the end. The workshops are much more sitting around a round table, having discussions between yourselves, feeding back. The one that's very exciting this year, which is a new thing, is the State of the Industry session, which is always extremely well attended. That's on Tuesday afternoon, I want to say. Obviously, it's on the app. That will be completely...
Tuesday at 2 o'clock.
There we go. That will be completely interactive. That will come... The whole of that... Normally, we structure it. Let's talk about real estate. Let's talk about pressure on immigration. Let's talk about whatever. This year, those questions are all coming from you. So there will be a lot of us running around with microphones. So if you have something that to you is a pressure point and that you'd like to bring that to the group and find out whether you're experiencing that on your own or whether it is part of the state of our industry right now, don't miss that session. It's going to be a good one. And I hope that explains. I mean, workshops are meant to be more interactive. Education sessions tend to be more delivery. There are also two managing international mobility. The acronym we have for our training program is MIM, Managing International Mobility. We have two programs running on Tuesday and Thursday. One on Tuesday is supply chains and mobility. One on Thursday, they've got switched over, so I'm not sure which is which, but the other one will be culture in relocation. So those are two of our primary trainers. One is a very new module. You're welcome to drop in on that. There's no need to pre-book those sessions, but if you are interested in our MIM training programs, those are two of our most experienced trainers who will be able to take you through just the highlights of those sessions. And those are limited to quite small numbers because of the interactivity. So I think we're talking about 20 people maximum. So if you do want to attend the MIM sessions, just get there early. There shouldn't be any problem. Does anybody else have a question that they would like to ask? Thank you, Metin. I'm glad that made. I thought my answer wasn't very clear, but I appreciate you saying that it was. Thank you. I don't think I've got anything else on my housekeeping lists. Yeah. I suppose all that remains for all of us here to say is we are so looking forward to welcoming you to Malta. It's a great place. The hotel's lovely. The people in the hotel are so excited that we're coming back. They really are flattered. Will the sessions be recorded to be shared if you can't join? Mandy, excellent question. If that session is taking place in the Grand Master's ballroom, then yes, they will all be recorded and shared on YouTube after the conference. They'll be shared with you as soon as our brilliant AV team member Nathan has done the edits on those. We'll share them with conference delegates pretty well straight away. The rest of the world won't get to see them for 6 months. We keep them locked down on YouTube for delegates only. Nuran, good point. Come along to the immigration workshop. It will be excellent and very, not just for immigration professionals. That's a very good point. A lot of destination service providers and other relocation related suppliers will go to the immigration. So thank you for that. Is there any additional input for sponsorship? I'm afraid our sponsorships are all fully booked, but that's very, very kind of you to ask. And yes, as I say, Mandy, thank you for that question. The sessions will all be on YouTube, hopefully within a couple of weeks. Yes, Jennifer, excellent point. Thank you for that. Add your photo to your profile. It really is, like, if I had one top tip, it would be put your photo on the app and make it a photograph that's new, because that's another one. I wanted to put like a really nice photograph of me when I was in my 20s. No one's going to recognize me. It's got to be now. So put one in. It's a great tip. So thank you so much, Jennifer. Looking forward to seeing you. If you're booking a meeting through the app, will you get a notification on your email? Yes, that's correct, right, Kirsty? You are nodding.
Yes.
Marvelous. Thank you. Yeah, it's a double system. I think you actually physically have to switch it off, or when you download the app, you have to tell it you don't want notifications. So if you haven't done that, you'll be fine. You'll get an email as well as a notification through the app. Lyris, that's very kind of you. I really don't, but I like that you said.
May I add another tip,
Dana, yes,
maybe,
please.
if that's okay? Just because of the style of this conference, people when come first time, they may expect that they should prepare some presentation, to do some slides and so on. I see it from time to time. I actually did it on the first 2 years as well.
Oh, okay.
But the conference is kind of, the style is more personal connection, more about you as a person, as a professional, rather than going to the details, because eventually we all do more or less the same. We all do home searches, we all do school searches. None of us actually discover something new. I mean, maybe a few of you did, and it's great. But don't mind too much on that. Maybe just one page if you really feel that you want to show some numbers or something unique. But really more focus on, leave the laptop in the room and come and really just try to personally connect to the people. I think it will have by far bigger input.
That's a really good point, Anna. Not one that I'd actually thought of, but just that meant bring a notepad. So definitely good to have you here. Bring a notepad. Always good to have a notepad. Normally within the conference rooms, there will be paper and pens on the table. I can't guarantee it. I can't remember what's in our contract with the Hilton. But Dana, that's such a good point. I was at a site visit recently, and a lot of the time, the sales director for the event venue will have a big iPad and show you all the different lighting choices you can have and the different seating choices and the flower choices. Those decisions get made on the basis of how fantastic that relationship is going to be and whether you trust them to do a great job for you or not.
Yeah.
So very good point, Dana. Thank you. We are coming up to the hour, so if anybody has a burning final question, I'd like to please pop it in the chat now. Otherwise, I will draw this to a conclusion. We're really looking forward to seeing you. If something changes, thank you, Marion. If something changes, or you have a question, or you suddenly think, gosh, I didn't think to ask that, reach out to any of us. We would be delighted to help. You can reach out through the app, you can reach out through email, you can reach out through our website. Ken, Dana, and Carlos, thank you so much for taking the time to be part of this. And again, go and find them. Make a beeline for these three very busy people, but they will.
You're more than welcome, all of you.
For sure.
So wonderful. And yes, safe travels. I hope you, just in the housekeeping that's going out, there's an FAQs on the webpage. Getting from the airport, get a taxi. There is also a bus. I've put the details on the FAQs. But it's very much, Malta does not have a mass transit system. So an Uber or a Bolt is going to be your best way to get to the hotel. And we will really look forward to welcoming you to Malta in 5 weeks' time, I think, something like that.
Actually, think, Dominic, if I'm not wrong, when we were there in June in Malta, that the airport has a special taxi with a fixed cost that is governed by the government. So you basically need to find that desk. There's a little bit of line, but you basically pay at the spot, you get a paper, and the driver is just waiting to you next to the stand and take you to the car. So there is kind of fixed costs, which is protected. Yeah.
I think it was 23 euros, something like that.
Yeah, I think
something
so.
Like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it depends where you're going. But if you're going to St. Julian's, they ask you which hotel, and then you prepaid it. And obviously, there's also rideshare. There's Bolt and Uber as well. But yeah, thanks for that, Dana. I've forgotten that. I need to update my FAQs now. That's good. I'll do that today. But listen, thank you so much, everybody, for joining. We're really looking forward to seeing you. Please come and find us if you need any support, if you need some help, if there's a question you've forgotten to ask. And we're really looking forward to welcoming you to Malta. Thank you so much, panel. You've been brilliant. Really nice to have you here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Take care, everyone. See you in Malta.
Bye.
Have a Tuesday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.